claimed all the credit for our little... I'll show you. I'll show you. Anyway, what the fuck am I doing? In 3, in 2, in 1. Holla! Ballers and a brofist to you all! It's Friday! Way! That means the weekend's here. And what does the weekend mean for us at Preach Gaming? Mood's going keyboard shopping tomorrow. I would advise the YouTube audience to not pay attention to my chat today. They're feeling particularly toxic. I have a question for everybody right now, mainly the live chat and my mods. Can you hear the fan? Because the fan is awesome. It's awesome. All the way from Israel. These little things, a little USB fan. It's the best thing ever for doing this show because it gets so hot. Oh, it's so nice. What? What's that? What are you guys saying? Iggle Piggle? I can't see Iggle Piggle. There was nowhere to put Iggle Piggle. There was nowhere to put him, man. Yeah, sorry, I can hear it. Yeah, it's like somebody can hear it. Unfortunately, I set my wife the task of finding a place for Iggle Piggle. This is what she came up with, and then she suggested perhaps she makes it a weekly feature of the show. I'm going to leave that in your capable hands of making a decision on that. You guys can decide. I'll leave it completely in your hands as to what happens with that. And I'll just gonna say, you know what? You guys want Piggle, our demon overlord. You want him to be a part of our times, and Emma seems more than happy to, in some way, slide him into the shot. In some way, although we are changing this. This isn't going to be like this. We're still fixing up little tweaks to the office. That'd be great. Yes, crucify him. We'll see what's going on with that. So yes, on an important note, maybe for some of you, probably for like, if this was the world, for like this many of you, we will be at Scan Computers in Bolton tomorrow. Me and Ghosty. We're going keyboard shopping for Mr. Ghosty because he needs a keyboard for his work PC because it's busted. We dropped it in the move. It's all smashed up. The escape key doesn't work. It's really annoying. So we're gonna we'll be there about midday-ish, but only for about 40 minutes. Don't go out of your way. But if you're local, come and say hi. But we're not sticking around or anything like that. It's not like we're going to be hanging around all day. That's not going to be happening. So if you are local, though, do feel free to drop on by and say hello. It's stream week on Monday. Maybe. Serious. There's so much YouTube stuff to do. I might not be able to do it. But I'm going to try and work my ass off this weekend. I'm trying is what I'm telling you. As you can probably understand, YouTube does take priority over that, and there's a lot going on right now. So I'm really hoping we get it sorted, because I actually want to do stream week before Ghosty starts, because that's going to be a fucking nightmare trying to sort that clown out, right? That's going to be a big fucking stuff. So hopefully I can get that done. No Man's Sky? No, not for me. Not for me at all. No. Ghosty, though, apparently loves the idea of No Man's Sky. He thinks it looks fantastic. To me, it looks like the worst game ever. It's one of those games that is just not for me at all, so I will be staying well the fuck away from it. I did watch a lot of the content, though. I did watch a lot of people. I saw the ending. The ending's been posted. If you reached the center of the galaxy, I saw that today. Not the game for me. Not the game for me. YouTube, please. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I need to get the legacies and stuff done. We're about to have Legion launch. Do you know what I mean? We're reaching that point in time. There's just so much going on. I've been working... I'll tell you what I've been working on, though, just so you guys know. I've been working on getting your account ready for the launch of a new expansion. How many people here is this the first new expansion? I'd be interested to know. Because it's been the worst process ever. It's such a big job going from WoD into Legion. Huge job. Overwhelming, honestly, sorting out all my characters and getting them ready. So I've been working on that video, which is like so much filming for something that's probably going to be like a 7-minute video. A 7-minute video. But it's a huge amount of work. If loads of you... Okay, alright. So I need to get that video sorted soon. Alright. Okay, yeah, so there's things like that going on. But I do want to get into Metal Gear Solid and stuff before all the Legion stuff starts. We're going to do it a little differently this time with the streaming, but you'll find out about that soon enough. Anyway, that's not why you're here today. Let's get on with why you're here today instead of having like an impromptu web show. I don't want to do that at all. We're having Noob Day. We're getting newbie. We're getting real newbie because some of these stories make me legitimately sad. Oh, you guys are so cute. You guys are so cute. You're so cute. And we were all noobs once. We were all there. We were all big, big newbies. And reading them just makes me like, oh, you guys are so awesome. I love you. I love you so much. Newbie Day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know you guys love your newbie stories, so I've got a collection of them. So we'll go with Noobs on Trial. Noobs on Trial. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's get our names up. Woot. Who shall be our noob? Oh, yeah. It's going to be Laflam. Laflam! A note to the Patreons. I know most of you watch this show. Please check the last message you got from Emma, who's the temporary Patreon manager, because she's going to be doing all the stuff that she said she was going to do in that email. I think the deadline is, like, soon. So make sure you reply to that so she can do what she's doing. All right? Cool. All right, then. Noobs on Trial, ladies and gents. Noobs on Trial. Noobs on Trial. Let's do this before we get started. Hey, Preacher. And Ghosty, not here yet. He does have his new monitor, though, so he's very happy. And, of course, a big hello to the ladies and the gentlemen in the audience and on them YouTubes. Everyone seems to get a kick out of the newbie stories, so I thought it would be fitting to share a little story with you. A quick disclaimer. This was years ago, okay? And how I remember the story might be slightly inaccurate because it was when I was a little boy. Oh, of course, the Demon Hunters are out. God, I want to talk to you guys today. I'm having that feeling like I want to talk to you guys. I just want to chit-chat with you. But we're focused. We're doing a show. The story will take place at a time when the air was frigid, the dead had risen against us, and Arthas himself cameoed in every zone. God, that was good. What was the best Arthas cameo in Wrath of the Lich King? I know mine. He was in every quest and cutscene, of course. It was Wrath of the Lich King. I was the Wrath baby. But before we entered the frozen wastes and teabagged the Lich King, we must first talk about how me and my brother, Laflam. Gundrak? No. Gundrak first picked up World of Warcraft. And subsequently, how did we spend our time on the trial account? The trial account. I agree with lots of us. Trial of the Grand Crusader. Well good in Trial of the Grand Crusader. That was the first time that happened was amazing. I must have been at the confusing age of about 14 years old or so. I was wowed at the new TV trailers advertising the World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King with, and do we all remember? Does anybody remember what the campaign was? I'm not sure if this was the Kata one or the Wrath of the Lich King one. Night Elf Mohawks. And there can only be one Prince of Darkness. To me, at this time, the game seemed fucking epic. But I bubbled and became immune to those adverts. For I had since done my research, and any game that had a subscription cost was weird and alien to a boy who played FIFA and 1v1 COD. Bro, no scope you though, bro. Bro, mate, though. You fucking even Call of Duty, though. Dickhead, mate. Not paying for the game. Playing FIFA. Buying trading cards, mate. That apparently have an algorithm that don't even fucking work and that. Mate. Got my fucking shiny Ronaldo, though. You got yours, though. Got your shiny Ronaldo, have you, though? Yeah? Fucking... Got my Gary Lineker card. Fucking well good, mate. But then came South Park. And that epic make love, not Warcraft episode. I'd love to know the numbers of people who bought that fucking account. I bought a WoW account the day after that episode. I wanted to wield the sword of 1,000 truths and slay an enemy that stood in my way. Remembering the Prince of Darkness and thinking to myself, one day, I am going to kill you, Arthas, and take your armor. So the very next day with the South Park episode fresh in my mind, I made a trial account and rolled a human warrior. Of course, I showed Laflam, who had also watched South Park, and he thought this game seemed pretty fucking radical. And he rolled out a trial account as well. By the time he made his first character, I had stopped playing for a day or two because in my noobiness, I was lost in the mine of Elven Forest, slaughtered by those damn kobolds over and over. To be fucking fair, there's a lot of kobolds in that mine. I know the mine. There's a lot of, unless it's the one in the real starting area, because that one's really easy. I don't even think they attack you. They might do now. I don't think they did. I still hear the battle cry of, "You no take candle," to this very day, and shiver. Laflam decided to roll a Tauren Shaman on his trial account because he liked Minotaurs or something, and they could equip both a shield and a mace. I looked on in envy at his cool new character. Can I do this? Oh, that would trigger everyone. There we go. His cool new character and immediately made one of my own. We were now set. These are the characters that would beat the game and would conquer World of Warcraft. At first, Laflam and I leveled via the plains of Mulgore. Without an issue. We were pro at this game. Everything died with the two of us. Yeah, exactly. That would fuck you guys, man. Fuck this chat room. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Anything like fucking spoiled, ruined my day, fucking turned in. Mulgore's the worst. Mulgore is the worst. Mulgore is the worst. It's so fucking bad. And then you can fall into, is it Razorfang Crowl? You can fall into it. You can fall into it. Okay. And then we saw it. Thunderbluff. I still remember that warm feeling when I got when I first set eyes on it. The nostalgia is real every time I return. Upon seeing this, Laflam and I concluded that we must get to Thunderbluff. And in order to win the game, we must become exalted with the city of Thunderbluff, where would we be heralded as champions for eternity. Thunderbluff, though? Mate. Mulgore, then Thunderbluff. Worst starting experience you can get. Is there anything worse? Hold on. The Draenei one's pretty shit. It's pretty bad. Mulgore to Thunderbluff to the Barons is a pretty fucking shame face. It is. Fuck you, Bonalord. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't know. Maybe the orcs and the trolls. Yeah, maybe. Thunderbluff maybe is alright, I suppose. I guess. You take that back. Night Elf is the worst. Oh, I like the Night Elf one. Anyway, apparently it's subjective, but most of you are incorrect. That's all I'm going to say. Just saying. MMO champion / preach. After finding the Great Lift and reaching the top of the great city, Laflam came up with the great idea after finding out that you could in fact fish in World of Warcraft. If we fished for the Tauren, then we would probably reach Exalted faster. I mock. But Ghosty is in this chat and will 100% confirm that one of the first things we ever did in World of Warcraft to progress our characters was one of us would take fishing, the other would take cooking. And we built a little campfire by the lake. And I think I fished, and Ghosty sat next to the campfire, and we traded, and everything I fished he cooked for our hunters. We made a pair of hunters to start the game. That is our little newbie start. That's what we did. We sat there for about 2 hours until we stopped getting levels, I think, or some shit. I don't know. We were fishing for our pets. We were making food for our pets. That's what we were doing. We sat there for ages. We thought we were the shit. We did. We thought we were so fucking good at this game. Excellent, I thought, as we must have sat at that little pond in Thunderbluff fishing for hours. As you can imagine, I got really fucking bored. So Laflam and I set off once again into the world. we noticed the caverns filled with undead beings, whilst in Thunderbluff, and one of them gave us a quest. You're about to fuck up majorly. This quest was for Silver Pine Forest. Why, Blizz? Why? Why did you put that quest there? I got that quest. I did. I did get that quest. Fuckers. After playing around with our map, we eventually found that it was on the other side of the ocean. How do we get to the other side of the ocean? We travelled, of course, to the Barrens. We got killed by absolutely everything imaginable, but we made it to the shoreline. I told Laflam that we should swim. And imagine, at first, you don't believe in any loading screens in World of Warcraft, do you? You don't. Think back to when you started the game. The first loading screen you hit is like a dungeon or leaving, literally, Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, right? You don't see anything until then. It's totally open. It's so good. It was mind-blowing at the time. I've got to say, if you new kids who were like, nah, it's normal, it was fucking amazing. It was amazing. So we're going to swim. We're swimming from Kalimdor. I hope I'm getting these right. We're swimming. We're swimming over. It probably wouldn't take that long, right? Because there's no mobs where we were. He agreed. And we set off on our journey across the sea. We battled with a shark at the shoreline. Miraculously, between the two of us, it died. Cool. This is awesome. This is going to work. Then that yellow bar appeared. That fatigue bar. We saw how slowly it went down. And we thought maybe we could make it before we got to the bottom. And so we ignored it and kept going as far as we possibly could. And then we died. We died a lot. Every time we came back to life, we tried again to swim that little bit further. You have no idea, Preacher. You have no idea, ladies and gentlemen, just how long we tried to beat the fatigue bar. But Laflam and I were not to be deterred. No, we were not. This is just merely a setback, boys. We got this. You see, we had noticed the ship in the distance that left from a little by town. At that moment, Laflam was a saviour. I left to find him at the nearby town, and it was at that journey where I came across a treasure chest. It was amazing, I thought. I clicked it, and in my excitement, I got more loot than I had ever seen in my life. I sold everything I got to a nearby vendor. I managed to total just over 1 fucking gold. Cash, money, pockets, swag, fedoras, yeah? All day. All day. Bling bling. Look at the rings. That's all I'm saying. Laflam was fucking pissed. Super pissed. He called me a cunt. And said it was unfair and that I was to share the gold with him. He said this was because he had found the town first. This escalated, ladies and gents, to an argument that only kids can have. It made us log out for the rest of the night. That's it. Over. That 50 silver is not leaving my pockets, son. No way. Have you seen how I'm living now? Have you seen my apartment? Yeah? Keeping this rich bitch isn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You don't afford good quality ladies like Plushenka over here for fucking silvers. It takes the gold, son. You know what I mean? I'm living the high life. And the next day, I managed to convince Laflam that he could have the next 2 treasure chests. And he agreed to log back on. We got the boat across the seas to Booty Bay. And immediately realized that we had gotten all the way across the continent. Oh, sorry. And immediately realized that we had to get all the way across the continent to complete our quest the undead had given us. And let me tell you, dying to those stranglethorn tigers over and over and over, you get the picture. It wasn't fun. But we did get to see the Gurubashi arena. We did get to see Zul Garub. But dying and waiting forever to res had taken its toll on us. We were either going to quit Or come up with a different plan. Or just do a different fucking quest. What the fuck? Kids, man, drive me fucking nuts. This seems ridiculous. Maybe it is. Maybe it is ridiculous. Maybe you should do something else. Maybe you should do something else. So Laflam had another brilliant solution. We could swim. Yeah? We could fucking swim, mate. Mate. Back up. Back up. We could swim. Think about it, yeah? Use your fucking head. Not only that, Laflam came up with the idea that we could do some fishing along the way. Exalted Thunderbluff, here we fucking come, son. Here we fuck. It's 2 for 1. It's a 2 for 1 deal. By the time we get back to Thunderbluff, mate, them fucking Taurans will be sucking our dicks. Plashenka style. It's gonna rock. So we did. We swam our way along the coast of the Eastern Kingdoms. We would happily stop and fish until we reached a lighthouse with a giant city unlike we had seen before right behind it. Wow, Laflam and I said out loud with excitement, literally giddy at the sight of this city. It was awesome. But as we closed in on the harbour, we noticed that the nameplates were red. And the skull symbol that was like the tigers meant that we would die. Laflam quickly turned away, swimming up the shoreline, leaving the magnificent city behind. I cannot recall how it happened, but I just know that I wasn't so lucky and added one more death to my already large total. Feels bad, man. We left Stormwind City behind, and my hatred for the Alliance can still be traced back to that day. But we were slowly getting closer to our goal. I can't remember much until we reached the Silver Pine Forests, and we came across the worgen that roamed there. These things looked so cool, and to our joy we realized that we could kill them. We raided these worgen in our own minds for what felt like hours, using our frustrations from before as rage to annihilate every werewolf we saw. We continued our way towards that question mark, and finally turned in the quest that we had travelled so far to complete. It barely gave us any experience. As soon as we turned it in and it just turned into more quests, we Hearthstone back to Thunderbluff. That was the end of our Tauran's brave journey. We never played again. For a while. Later, we got official copies of TBC Wrath of the Lich King for his birthday. And I got it not long after. We subbed to WoW, we never looked back with the proper games. And then came the times of Laflam's Blood Elf Mage and my Melee Troll Hunter, which is a whole other story for a later day. And of course, when reaching level 55, we rolled some DKs and slowly became better at the game with help from people from the world and the too easy Lich King dungeons. I went on to roleplay for a while, and in Kata I learned so much more and looked back with pure cringe at my past noobiness. Moving on, I'm now playing a Holy Pally and a DK again in hopes of heroic and mythic raiding in Legion, as well as some PvP, mate. PV, yeah, melee troll hunters. Pretty regular to see the old melee hunters back in the day. You know what I find weird? Good story. Thank you so much for that submission. Love the newbie stories. Thank you so much. It's nice to see that. Nice to see that. Now we're going even noobier. Cringe. Yeah. Oh, God. Cringe. Look out. I couldn't believe that on the PreachCon video. Look at all these people having a good time. That makes me physically uncomfortable. Okay. Sure. Sure. Right, no names in this one, I believe. What happened to the 1 gold? That's Kingfisher asking the real questions. But what happened to the 1 gold, though? But what happened to the 1 gold? That's funny. Okay. The youngest noob. Hola, Preacher. I'm sorry this isn't in PDF. I'm a scrub lord. And I couldn't even get you a mildly respectable Word document. Google Docs, bro. Google Docs. Notepad is the worst. Just saying. Word wrap. All good. Here's my story about how I was a noob. And I was the youngest one. Right, this is a kid. Alright? It's a kid. You guys need to be good, alright? Can I trust you guys? Are you guys going to be nice? You be good. By the way, you probably shouldn't be watching my content. Just saying. Just saying. Based on the drama time that we had during the web show. Just saying. My journey begins in 2006. I'm watching you, Jaffers. In about August, when my dad introduced me to the World of Warcraft, and I was 5 years old. I will not be doing that. I will respect the EULA. I believe it was the patch before AQ released when I began my Night Elf Warrior. I don't remember anything about the starting zone other than it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. My server was low pop. And I had no idea there were other people playing besides me. Oh, to think WoW was a single player game. Best server. Best server. At least you can get all the rares. That's good. And I still feel that same immersion in my dead realm when I start up a Night Elf. Once I'd gotten to Darnassus and walked through the tunnel entering it, I was amazed. The city was huge and there were people, NPCs, everywhere. I remember wandering around that city for about 4 days. Now I'm really going to make you all so sad. Get your feels bad man ready for this. I was only allowed on the PC for 2 hours a day because it was my dad's. 2 hours? Fuck you. Get out. 5-year-old? 2 hours? Mate, not in this house. Not in this house. You can play on your fucking Amazon Kids Kindle, fucking piece of shit. That's what you can do. Fucking 2 hours, my ass. No way. Not even letting you touch Andy's PC for that, mate. I eventually walked through a magical looking pink thing. Hey. Ah, cute. Cute. And found myself on an island. And there was a boat. And there was a hut. It was the Hippogriff Master, and I looked at those birds and I knew I wanted to ride one. But I didn't know how. I clicked on the man and it showed me a map. I closed the map because I already had a map, and then I got on the boat, but it was gone. And I had to log off because my time was up. Don't you just want to cry? Let me just reiterate what this kid did. He finally went through the pink. He stepped through the pink like a man at 5. Ropey, you ask me. Found an island with a man with birds and a boat. Spoke to the man with birds. Tried to give him a map. Already had a map. Closed the map. Went to get on the boat. Boat was gone. And Daddy kicked him off the PC. I can't remember how long it took, but I know eventually I would end up in Goldshire. The next time I played the game was in early Wrath of the Lich King. I decided to make a human warlock. I loaded in, and I explored my screen. I eventually right-clicked my Imp's Pain and dismissed it. Didn't notice it was gone for about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And when I did, I cried IRL. Because I thought he was dead. And that he was gone forever. Little bootlash. Little fucker. I fucking love that guy. I decided to push on and do the quests. And I got to level 13 before finding the button to summon my imp. I was so happy that I had gotten him back. And I kept on questing. And then I got another class quest to get my Voidwalker. Liar. No such thing as class quests. They're just needlessly useless content that drag out the experience. They definitely don't make memories that one day you might write about in a story. Right? Just saying. I wouldn't finish this quest for my Voidwalker until level 36. I simply didn't understand what I was supposed to do. When I did get to a level around 20, I got another quest that sent me to get my succubus. I followed this quest and eventually got my succubus. Around level 28, I think. Now that I look back, I realized just how big of a scrub I was. I remember, of course, as your chat can probably guess, dinging 55, probably about 8 months or so after getting the game. And about a month before that, I had, of course, found out about Death Knights. And I wanted one. But it was locked, which I thought was unfair. It's unfair, man. It's just not fair. I want one, though. 55's impossible. Well, once I hit 55, I abandoned my fucking warlock. A decision I regret to this day. I became Death Knight. It became my DK. And my name had a severe typing error. I had guard in my name, but I had spelled it G-A-U-R-D. I was ridiculed constantly because of my name, but I didn't care because I was a Death Knight and I was cooler than everyone else. Yeah? Fuck you, Noob. You're jealous. You're jealous because I'm a Death Knight and you're not. Stupid head. Stupid head. Oh my god. After about 4 months, I hit level 80. And I learned about raiding through being invited to what I now know is called a cesspool guild. They asked if I wanted to raid, and I said, sure. And then I was promptly asked, what's your gear score, bro? Gear score, son. Not knowing what the fuck gear score was, I remember seeing it in trade chat. I said 5k, mate. 5k, mate. Yeah, 5k, mate. I had no idea what 5k meant, but I did get an invite. Great success. The system is working as intended. As intended. What's your gear score? 5k, and then I invite you. This is the process, yeah? It's a little bit of back and forth. Little bit of back and forth. I was invited to a raid and instructed on how to get there. They told me to get on Vent, and I told them, what's Vent? Then they laughed and thought I was kidding, and I realized that, so I Googled Vent. You're hired. You just beat 90% of the people I meet on the internet. You Googled it before just asking over and over and over again. You went, oh, maybe if I type this into the internet, I'll get an answer. Maybe that'll work. How good's this? Have you seen this? Answer. I don't just go, tell me, mate. Tell me, mate. Mate. I'll type my question 800 times. No one's answering me. Dickheads. And at this point, they laughed and thought I was kidding. So I Googled then. At this point, I was smarter than I was a few months ago when I was a mere boy of 5. I knew that I should not use voice chat. So I said I didn't have a mic. Crisp. After the whole vent thing, they were okay with that. And I was basically carried in my first raid. And the boss they were on was none other than the Lich King himself. Oh dear. Oh dear. We wiped. Not once. Not twice. Not even thrice. It was 5 times, if I remember right. Until raid chat started to complain. Specifically about DPS. Specifically about my DPS. And specifically because people were starting to inspect me. Fuck. Everything's fine until a wipe. So what I'm saying, if you've got the skills, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. If you can play and you don't wipe, you're going to be fine. But once you start wiping, people are going to start checking. Yeah? LFR, every LFR is proof of that. If you can get away with it, you'll be alright. The jig was up. I was instantly kicked from the raid. I was then kicked from the guild. And I stopped playing World of Warcraft for a while. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. When I came back a while later, I found my characters were gone from my suggestions. And my realm too. I was recommended Moonguard and would make Ghosty proud. You can change your realm to the one that had your characters on it. You guys had that when you try and log into your WoW account on a different PC and it recommends you a realm that doesn't have your characters on it? Why does it do that? It's fucking bullshit. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. I must have been hacked or some shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? And I made a decision that would make Ghosty proud. Because I made a blood elf rogue. Female though, because I didn't know what I had accidentally signed up for. I got to the first little town thing before I was stopped by another player who whispered me and asked if I wanted to do some ERP. I replied saying that I didn't know what ERP was. He told me to follow him, and I did. I soon found myself being told to do /lay, and he was doing some dance over me in emotes. Without knowing what sex was, he then paid me 5 gold, and I realised that I could do ERP and just lie on the floor and make gold. Science! Y'all got outplayed, pedos. Yeah? Easy mode. This is easy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just lie here and I make money. Square deal, this kid thinks. Whatever. I just have to watch these guys do a dance. You know you guys all got the same dance? I don't know if you guys know this, but it's always the same dance. It's like none of you are doing it any differently. You guys are weird. I'm just going to lie here and make some cash. I don't know what you want me to say. I'll clap if you want. Whatever. When I got to Orgrimmar, I left it and ended up in Durotar, where I basically just stood there and begged for gold, which I was fairly successful at. And I met an undead who asked if I wanted free level 80s. I of course agreed and gave my account details to him so he could level my characters for me. Now, when I say I was smarter than I was when I was 5, obviously looking back, not by fucking much. I was instructed to once I gave him the account details to log out for 15 minutes and then he would transfer level 80s to my account. Good deal. But when I tried to log in, boys and girls, it said the information was incorrect. What did he do next? And this is why you don't let fucking 5-year-olds near your shit. You know what I mean? Unsupervised. That's all I'm saying. Daddy! 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 I told him that the account wasn't working. So fucking dad, yeah, who was trying to be nice for his boy, ends up getting on the blower with Blizzard. But daddy, of course, being a dad, sorted it the fuck out. But he now had a password that I didn't know. My dad now had to log me in whenever I wanted to play. That's fine. I stopped playing WoW Willy and Kata and came back in Mop on a new account because I scummed it up and became hated by everyone on my DK. And I lost the ability to log into my account my dad set up because my parents got divorced. Oh. But he did come back and play Mop. Oh. I decided to start up a Warga Druid. I made it to this day as a Resto Druid. Oh, nice. In a cesspool. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Piggle! Piggle, help me. Help me. Go. Jesus Christ. Let me just go through the order of events. So we're all clear. So you can get an appropriate amount of feels bad, man. Ruined his own reputation on his own account. Gave it up. Got a new account. The other account also got lost because his dad got divorced. He plays a Resto Druid in a cesspool guild. Playing on my original and first server, which is basically dead. Oh, you're in a cesspool guild on a dead server. However, my computer troubles prevented me from playing WoD. And your computer's broken! Oh my god. I plan to rock the shit following your guides. And for now, that concludes my story. Of how I've been playing WoW on and off for 10 years of my life. Your PC's broken. You play a resto druid, a healer in a cesspool guild on a dead server. Come on, man. Get that shit together, will you? Send me another story when you're, you know, better than that. Alright, let's get a ridiculous story in. Well, we've got 20 minutes. Can I squeeze 2 in? I'll do my best. I'll do my best. We're going Star Wars. Right. Okay. So I need 2. So we'll have Hemila. Hemila? I hope I'm saying your name right. And Frez. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Everyone's good. All right. This is a fast one. This story is 100% true, even though you might not believe it. Rogue One trailer. Go and watch it after the show. It's really good. The story starts at the ripe old age of 5 years old with the start of the Burning Crusade. I am from Team US of A, so my parents really didn't give a shit. Good God, man. Really? Your parents love you. I love you. Emma doesn't. Explains the Piggle and the baby. So my father decided it'd be a great idea for his 5-year-old to play WoW. Like most young noobs, I decided to make a gnome warlock. I have no idea why I liked it, but I did. Because warlocks are fucking... To kids, warlocks are pure edgelord. They're pure edgelord. They're edgelord for days. I had no idea what professions were, but I decided that I liked the look of the best combination of blacksmith and tailor. Solid. 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Absolutely 10 out of 10. I would recommend that combination to absolutely everyone. Nothing but success comes your way. Time passed and I made it to level 63 by the time ICC came out. My father had grinded for hours to get me PvP heirlooms. Oh, what a pro! Can't wake up. Can't wake up. Wake me up inside. To get me he's going PvP. He's 5 years old. He's going PvP, mate, on his warlock. With his blacksmithing and tailoring. All the fucking... What was it? Bracers? What did you get? And cloaking chance, yeah. So 6 or 7-year-old me thought it was a good idea to delete that... Oh, you piece of shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. My father grinded for hours to get me PvP heirloom items. So the 6 or 7-year-old me thought it was a good idea to delete that character because I didn't like it anymore. Cold as a motherfucker. This is where things go downhill. Yeah, I'd say so. I only got tunes to about level 10, then got bored with them and then made new ones. I got so bad, my dad banished me to some random server. Can't even play on the same realm. During Cataclysm, my dad decided we should play Star Wars: The Old Republic. I somehow got to the level cap before the next expansion. Then I stole 1 million credits from my dad's account and deleted the character. You fucking bastard, man. This is just making me never let my kids play computers. You can play Yoshi and you can play Star Fox on the N64. That's all you're allowed to do. At this point, my dad doesn't really like me being near his computer. I had installed more than 4 viruses on his computer. Oh, you were looking at brony porn. What kind of porn is set? Oh, look at this missionary shit. What's the 6 or 7-year-old looking at that's getting viruses, man? I bet some cunts put loads of viruses on kiddie websites, don't they? Thinking, oh God, oh no. I nearly threw up in my mouth. I have to read it to you. I have to read it to you. At this point, my dad doesn't really like me on his computer. I had installed more than 4 viruses on his computer, thinking it was Minecraft mods. Oh, fuck me. It's... But I need tech it, though, and feed the beast, mate. That's what I need. You can tell how long it's been since I've played Minecraft. So he decided I should get my own account on a safety computer. I picture it like it's got a big cork on it. It's got only one working mouse button. It only has access to like one fucking web page or some shit. To keep me busy. Around the time I was 10 or 11, The Elder Scrolls Online came out. For the first time, I managed to reach the level cap before my brother, even though he had his own computer. Then my dad got bored and all of his buddies decided to go and play some EverQuest instead. I told my dad that I don't want to play fucking EverQuest, and he looked really happy about it. The safety computer. Could someone tweet me a picture of what you think the safety computer is? Even if you're on YouTube, just tweet. I want to see them like over the next week. What the fuck is a safety computer? What the fuck? I hopped from game to game with my friends, then school started again, so I got bored. And I begged and pleaded with my dad. Daddy, will you pay for World of Warcraft? He said okay. I was off. I made a duplicate of my first character, remembering exactly how I made my gnome warlock. I hopped from leveling guild to leveling guild until max level, and then I joined a guild. Name the guild, chat. Name the guild. When I joined them, I believe the only person who thought I was 12 was the officer who recruited me. One day they were doing, get ready to soil your pants, guys. Siege of Orgrimmar, an heirloom carry run. Oh, that sounds fun. The edgelords. Not the good. The fluffy wumpers. I'm going with fluffy wumpers. Definitely. The guild, the fluffy wumpers. Even if the guild changes, we're keeping it as the name, the fluffy wumpers. I decided I wanted to join. I got in even though I was 6 item levels lower than required. I joined their TeamSpeak server, taking forever to set up my mic. Then after the Paragons of the Claxy died, I decided to speak. What did he say? What did this prepubescent voice say? Holy shit. He's never been there before. He's in a fucking carry raid. Hasn't got the gear. Paragons of the Claxy, you know he was like AoEing for the whole fucking fight. Like a twat. Probably a Windwalker. Yeah, fucking, you know what I'm saying. Fucking Storm, Earth and Fire all fucking day. Wake me up. Good job, everyone. Good job. It went silent for about 5 minutes. I thought they were going to kick me. Then the brave dwarf paladin Hamilla said, thanks. He broke it. Hamilla, you're a fucking hero, bro. You're a hero. He sensed the problem. And then he came in strong. He's playing a dwarf paladin. He's used to putting up with some shit, man. He's used to putting up with some shit. He came in and just went, thanks, man. Thanks. They eventually got used to me. And I became very well known in the guild for having a spirit trinket as a demonology warlock. He's our little mascot, our little buddy. Aww. He's like our little guy. Yeah. Good job. Very good job. Good trinket. Good trinket. You're a good boy. Well done. Wallers of Dread all went pretty smoothly. I always had the worst deeps. Always ignored raid mechanics. And then in Blackrock Foundry, when they nerfed demonology, I quit the game. I decided to come back for Hellfire Citadel. I leveled a Rouge. Oh god, did you type this? Chat, I need a vote immediately. Holy fuck. Oh, you can't see it. It says Rouge. It actually says Rouge. Intentional or not. Intentional or not, he's actually spelled it Rouge. I decided to become serious about raiding. Since I now had my own computer. Yes. Now is my time. Now, well, they could have gone enchantment, right? What are you going to level? What are you playing in Legion, bro? You playing a Rouge or an enchantment shaman, mate? Enchantment, though? Could be playing enchantment. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. It's got a pretty good fucking spec these days. So I heard. Watch Preach. Definitely playing enchantment this time. I learned my rotation and learned raid mechanics. At this point, my guild was 8 out of 10 normal, mate. And they decided to take me in. 8 out of 10 normal Hellfire Citadel. Where's that? Manaroth's 9. What's the one before Manaroth? Can't remember. One of the 3, right? You can pick. If I'm remembering right. They decided to take me in. Trigger. 8 out of 13. Yeah. What's number 8? Zul? Going with Zul? You can pick, though, if I remember right. Fucking shithole instance. That night, we killed Archimond. I now had to obtain my legendary ring. Even though the catch-up mechanics, it took me about a month or so. And once I obtained it, everything started going right. We cleared Heroic fairly easily. And since the pre-patch, I'm now in a top DPS spot. Yeah, and I've earned veteran rank in my guild. Ooh, yeah. This guy you do first. This guy's so fucking easy. God, that fight is so easy. Unless you call Frub. How do I throw it, though, mate? Oh? Oh? Fucking... Oh. You throw it. I'm not throwing it. Oh, I've only got like 8 minutes. This story is really long. Fucking hell. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't do it. Iskar assist? No way. Funny. I can't do it. It's too long, man. It's like 4 pages. I could, if I speed read it, 7 minutes. All right, we're going really fast, so you might have to re-listen to this one. It's not a newbie story. Right, we didn't use Frez, so Frez can stay. I need a girl from the chat. We're going with Meth. We'll go with Meth because she's here. I'm going to spell your name wrong. Close enough. All right. He's from Scotland. He's from fucking Scotland. I decided to take a respite from the Legion pre-patch because I have quite a tale to tell. Before I dive into it, I must first ensure that everyone is acquainted with a certain word. This word, ladies and gents, is grafting. It's Scottish slang, meaning a guy who's trying to get a girl to like him, right? A bit like flirting, it can be shortened to graft or G-rafting if you want to be cool, Urban Dictionary. So introductions, the setting, Miss of Pandaria, Siege of Orgrimmar 5.4, 17 years of age, meaning I'm getting hard at just the thought of doing something. I'd spent the last 2 years of my life fairly isolated, having dropped out of public school and instead being homeschooled, Scottish style, which means not going to school. I had crippling social anxiety, and as such, I, like so many others, found solace in the one place we wouldn't be judged and it could appear however we wished. The World of Warcraft. I was attempting to take a step up from the excruciating boredom that was LFR and old content. I decided to start raiding. I joined a raiding guild that at the time was progressing on Flex Siege of Orgrimmar. I strongly desired to be a normal raider one day, or even the fabled heroic raider, but I knew how it was. I had to work my way up through the ranks in order to attain my goals. My guild was very easygoing. People invited their friends and family that logged on once a week to say hello, and all were welcome to observe the glory of our Flex progress. One day I was passing through Shatrath City for my weekly attempt at Illidan for his warglaves when I saw something in trade chat. It was a newbie hunter looking for a guild. I sent them a message, asked if they were interested in joining mine. I was attempting to be more social, and this seemed like a good opportunity. Aww. This hunter eagerly accepted and I shot them an invite. Everyone who was online introduced themselves, welcome, as did I. The hunter proceeded to tell us how they were just starting to play and any help or advice would be appreciated. My ego got the better of me and I took it upon myself to run them through some fucking dungeons, son, in an attempt to show the new player what a real fucking player looks like. They were very grateful and we built a rapport after that day. A week later, the hunter popped online and invited them to join myself and some other guildies in some casual Ventrilo bants. Yeah, bit of bants on Vent, you come in. They joined and queued up. You called it. The hunter was a girl. A cute sounding girl too. And the best part was her unmistakable British accent. I knew it wouldn't stand out at all places like Manchester. Yeah, that's not doing it for me. Oh, Manchester girl, yeah. But for us Americans playing in the US service, a girl with a British accent was like seeing a fucking unicorn. You know what I mean, lads? Hey! Know what I mean? Hey! Hey! The subtle catcalling began from a few other guildies and she introduced herself as Methuselah. And as was to be expected, she was demanded to say, "You're a wizard, Harry," out loud in her accent, and when she finally did, Ventrilo was roaring with laughter and excitement. The Emma Watson jokes got flung as well. It seems she was fucked off with this and disengaged from the conversation politely. I sent her a tell, apologising on behalf of all the other guildies. But she said she was used to it by now. All the same, she appreciated my refraining from joining in the vent douchery. I felt good. I was a white knight in the truest sense. I was actually impressed with myself for not losing my cool with a girl. What? I was actually impressed with myself for not losing my cool? Oh, right, you'd relaxed. I thought you meant you were going to go fucking crazy. Methuselah and I became close friends. We LFR'd together to get us some gear, and we talked and did our dailies together now and then. Eventually, I got her back on Ventrilo just for the two of us to talk as we did some timeless isle grinding. And that's when a knot formed in my stomach. She started talking, but I heard laughter in the background. Oh! And a male voice. Oh! She apologised for the interruption and said it was her boyfriend, Frez. Oh! He lived in the US and she was visiting him for a month. I started panicking, my anxiety peaking now that I realised my one-on-one friendship was surely being overseen by another person. Not only that, her boyfriend. Trying to keep calm though, I offered that we do some LFR Throne of Thunder together. She accepted. We didn't talk much despite us both being in vent. Silent LFR Throne of Thunder. Sick. Sick as fuck. Eventually she keyed up to ask which way to go and I pointed her the right way. But her push to talk key stayed held down. I didn't notice right away and kept explaining now and then about how this and that mechanic worked. You know, Horadon, just kill the boss, don't touch the ads. Eventually, though, I realised something was off because I heard her talking to Frez. He was watching her play. Frez was salty as a motherfucker because she was shit as well. Every time she would do something noob, like keyboard turning, not playing with bindings and dying to mechanics, he would go into some sort of rage. I wanted to pluck up the courage to say something. I was dying to, but my awkwardness and curiosity got the better of me and I wound up just listening to them. Methuselah started getting pissed and told Fez that he could shut the fuck up as she was just trying to have fun. Fez was having none of that and pressed on with his criticism of her play. I remember thinking to myself, why? What kind of idiot who was lucky enough to have a girl like Methuselah simply spend his time criticising on her WoW skills? She was a British girl in the US and had an amazing personality and played video games. She's the perfect woman. It was too good to be true and he was squandering it. Finally, as we reached the end of the wing, I blurted out, "By the way, mate, your mic's on, Methuselah," offering no suggestion as to how long it had been transmitting. She giggled as though her argument was non-existent and gave an oops. We didn't hang out much after that though, not for a while. She was visiting Fez and wanted to take advantage of their time together. I could understand that. However, one day I checked my friends list and her battle swag was gone. I did a double take and realised that she'd gone and disappeared on me. I didn't understand. It really bothered me and brought me down for a little while, but I managed to get over it and proceeded to work on my flex progress. About 2 months passed and she disappeared. All was back to normal. One day, though, out of nowhere, I got a whisper from a hunter with the same name as the first one that Methuselah played. This one wasn't level 90, though. She asked if I remembered her from before. I said yes, of course. She gave me a heartfelt apology about disappearing. Apparently, she was playing on Fez's account, and that was the battle swag I had. That's why I had a boy's name. Duh. But they had broken up. She was now back in the UK on her own account, playing in the US, mate. To be honest, she kept talking for a bit, but I can't recall the details because I was hung up on the few words, we broke up. As they reverberated around my brain, finally she asked if I'd add her on the fucking Facebook. What? I had never used Facebook, but I had an account and hurriedly accepted her friend request. This was the first time I saw Methuselah. I automatically and shamelessly went creeping through all of her photos and came to the quick conclusion that she wasn't just cute, she was pretty hot. This wasn't your case of fat gamer girl, but in fact, a good 8, 10, 9 when she smiled. Naturally, she saw me for the first time as well. I had one picture on there, and it was me with my dick out, peanut butter covered in it, in a dog pound. No, it's not really. I had one picture, as far as I remember, that had me holding up a fucking Rubik's Cube. She found it endearing, to my relief. She said she'd been playing once more and looked forward to speaking again. I returned the sentiment. At one point, I logged on and we started talking, but instead of speaking of wow, we spoke to each other. Eventually, she asked the dreaded question. How old are you anyway? I froze. The good book profile had me aged 30, as to remain ambiguous. Hers had said nothing about her. I decided that for the first time, rather than lie about my age, I'd tell her the truth and pray she wouldn't run off. I told her I was 17, and although she took a long pause before continuing, she said that was cool and actually looked a lot older than that. She said that looking back on my profile, I was good looking. I powered through the soaring feeling brought on by the compliment and tried to ask in my most offhanded manner, how old are you? 22 was her reply. I'd expected as much. A 17-year-old girl travelling to the US on her own didn't seem very probable. Lost in my own thoughts, she asked how I thought she looked. I was mortified. I started typing and deleting incoherent sentences. You look like a dick. You look hairy. You look good. You look gorgeous. You look like my asshole. I don't know what to say. You look great was what I settled on. Now I know what you're thinking, preacher and viewers. 17 and 22, but I was nearly 18 though. 17 and 22 is kosher in the UK, son. Game on. We knew each other well, so we didn't let the age difference make things awkward when the next bit occurred. She asked if I'd take a selfie and send it to her. I pulled myself together, agreed, then ran out of my apartment, past my dad into the back corridor. I wanted to frame this selfie perfectly. I'm gonna have to fucking do this, aren't I? Fuck you guys and your stories. So I framed it up. I had to show some teeth. Get rid of the double chin. And smile. Kick. That really hurt. Really fucking hurt. I sent it. Somehow she said she found it cute. And I mean good cute. Not the oh, you're adorable type of cute. My confidence now bolstered tenfold. I asked her for a selfie as well. She obliged, and although in the picture she wasn't made up and was sitting in sweatpants on her sofa, she looked amazing to me. After this, well, you guys could probably assume things went where they think things went next. My online girlfriend. We began talking more and more often. Being 5 hours ahead of me, I found myself waking up in the early hours of the morning to be with her. And she went to bed very, very late at night. It wasn't long before I awkwardly asked her to be my girlfriend. Oh, she said yes. Here's the thing though, guys. When your girl's guy friend, you simply exist as that. When you're her boyfriend, however, she'll open up to you and look to you for help with all of her fucking problems. Don't get me wrong, I was head over heels and came to the rescue whenever something was bothering her. Most of the things she looked to me for help with her breakup with Fez. I learned that they had a brutal breakup during which certain parties had said things as bad as go fuck yourself. They had physical altercations when she visited. His temper was always getting the better of him. She hated that he slagged off her wow. She was really broken up about it and couldn't get through a day generally without my comfort and advice. Most of which I made up because I'd never had a girlfriend before. When she wasn't sad, however, she was slowly but surely getting me out of my shell. My social anxiety broke down and she introduced me to music and movies she liked. I became myself again prior to all the shitty parts I'd been through. I felt good with her, but there was one critical thing I could never apply myself to though. This was a long distance relationship. Fucking was off the table. But no long distance relationship thrives without mention of fucking at all. The subject started to stress me out to no end. To the fact that the closest I got into actual fucking was a rush kiss in junior high. And whenever it was brought up by Methuselah, I'd turn it into dry humour to change the subject. She started saying how and then I was treating her like one of my guy friends rather than a girlfriend. And I couldn't comprehend what that meant at the time. Looking back, it obviously meant that I wasn't putting out any sexual vibes and was sticking to simply talking about wow or hobbies. But those instances came and went. A cataclysmic fail then. Oh, we're going to have to be quick. I've got to pick my son up. We spent a lot of our time, as we did before, doing dailies, casual raids, or just screwing around in WoW, but then the unthinkable happened. I'll never forget this as long as I live due to how insane it was. Methuselah and I were passing through the Shrine of Two Moons when I see a character name hovering near the innkeeper. It looked familiar, but I couldn't tell where from. When Methuselah targeted him and sent an oh my god through battle swag, I recalled with horror that the character's name was the name of her old battle tag. I realised instantly that this person in front of us was Fez, playing his monk and chilling in the shrine. A love triangle. Two people across the US and one in the UK, all bumping into each other on the US servers in the Shrine of Two Moons. I quickly asked her if she was okay, told her not to freak out, take a deep breath. But she started panicking like crazy, saying she had to face Fez once and for all. It's a big deal. And that I should stay out of it. Back up, I got this. I felt helpless, but I stood back, literally as we were all in the same in-game location. You literally went into another room in the shrine. That's funny. She told me that he wanted her back. I froze before leaving me to settle things. She told me that she loved me. Any anxiety I personally felt towards him, having him speak to one another again, was dashed away by this revelation. I told her I loved her too, and gave them some space. It's a good idea. I think I flew 50 laps around the Vale of Eternal Blossoms while stressing about Methuselah. Finally, she sent me a short message. I'm tired. I need to sleep. Taken aback, I asked if there was anything I could do, and she insisted she just needed some space, and we would talk tomorrow. I tried not to let it get to me when I raided later that night. Still raided like a fucking boss, though. The next morning, she greeted me merrily and went about our dailies. I asked if everything was okay after the day before. She told me she was relaxed about it now, and that the two of them had agreed to finally end things cleanly. Relieved, I wanted to cheer her up in a way that also made me look fucking cool. I asked her if she wanted to do a flex raid. What? Yeah, mate. Fucking boss. By this time, we'd finally made it to normals, and I felt I was good enough to lead a pug flex run. She eagerly agreed, and then went quiet as I filled the group. When I told her we were ready to go, however, she asked if it would be okay if she invited someone. I asked who. She said it was Fez. In my head, I was yelling a start fuck no, but in reality, I simply asked why. She insisted it wouldn't be weird. She just wanted to let him down easy, and this was as good a way as any to get some peace of mind. She also added that we could make him feel awkward seeing us act so close together as an incentive. My stupid, naive 17-year-old mind suddenly thought this was a good idea. I wanted to show this bastard who was boss, the school guy, and school the guy who was so awful to Methuselah. I invited him to the group and watched his dot appear on the map. I went over to Methuselah's shaman. She was playing on a shaman now. And picked her up on my recruiter friend rocket. And then I flew us directly towards Fez's dot. You could not imagine my satisfaction as I landed next to him on my massive rocket and my girl riding it. Methuselah dismounted and walked around near Fez while I rocketed around the two. Fez mounted on his Vial de Sans Drake suggestively. We asked if he was ready to go to the flex run. He said yes. Before heading to the raid, Methuselah deliberately ran over to my rocket and mounted up instead of clicking on his much closer Drake. I must have laughed out loud. During the run, I was alphaing the fuck out of him. Granted, I played a mage and he a monk, so thinking back, I was bound to win on the DPS, but back then I felt like a man on a mission. Methuselah and I kept making passive-aggressive comments toward him, feigning obliviousness. Around the time he reached Galacras, though, he started fighting back. He had an ace in the hole. He made various comments about Methuselah's likes and dislikes. Brought up actual IRL times they had been together. Something only he has. I didn't have a comeback. I could win the Deeps race as much as I wanted, but he still had the experiences and history with her. I couldn't compete. No matter how many remarks I made of what I knew about Methuselah, he always had something better to say or reminisce about. Methuselah even started laughing at his jokes now and then, really starting to get concerned. I called the raid, pretending that it was merely getting boring and we should go PvP instead. Somewhat reluctantly, Methuselah agreed, left Fez behind in the group, and joined me for some BGs. The next day, I couldn't get a hold of Methuselah anywhere. She wasn't on the good book, she wasn't on WoW. I carried on with my day, trying not to be worried. Finally, the ping alert saying she was online came before me. I asked where she was, and she just said she was busy. Then she said she needed a little while before we could do anything today. It was strange, out of character. I went to find her shaman in game and saw her just outside the shrine. Lo and behold, Fez was there. I demanded to know what was going on, and she told me to just chill. She was just trying to sort out a way to get her hunter on his account back to hers. Even my naive 17-year-old myself knew this was getting a little close for comfort. I let it be because I still didn't have the confidence to start arguing. A week passed. Any excitement and affection we had before seemed to dwindle with each passing day. At the end of the week, she told me, we need to talk. Oh! I had seen way too many movies and sitcoms to know what that meant and why it was happening. She told me we needed to break up because right now she needs some time alone. And between the two of us, she wasn't feeling as good as she initially did when we got together. I swallowed my sadness down whole and told her that I simply wanted her to be happy. She said she felt awful about things, and although in my mind I was thinking she deserved to feel fucking awful, you bitch, I told her it was alright and that I understood. She told me she just wanted to be friends. She still wanted me to be around and to talk to. The friend zone. I messaged Methuselah every night before I went to sleep. I shared details about my day that I found interesting and made sure that every day she would wake up with a new message from me. I know, Preacher, I must have come off as the most desperate guy in the universe. I can't see my chat right now, but I imagine they're being ultra friendly. But I didn't care. I didn't miss a day. Months later, she went to visit Fez again. And I didn't speak to her for almost a month after. Nevertheless, I did then leave a message every single night. Even when I saw she wasn't seeing the messages right away, we just continued as friends. She would confide in me when things weren't going great for her, and I'd tell her that that she was on my mind. We never really talked about Fez. It was a taboo subject. This went on for a year and a half. A year and a half before MOP ended. I had joined a heroic raiding guild and killed Garrosh on that difficulty just before the WOD pre-patch dropped. When Warlords came, I had already gotten the attention of multiple high-end guilds with my performance towards the end of the last expansion, and I quickly rose through my guild until I raid-led. And even when I raid-led, we were moving too slowly for my liking, so I dropped that guild and joined a top 100. People raid for many different reasons, but for me at the time, it wasn't just the game or the thrill that kept me going. It was the fact that my progression from a casual player to a now mythic raider was tangible and real, and really brought my actual confidence back together. My social anxiety tapered off completely, and I was now happy in my own life. I never got over Methuselah during that time, but I tried to, and I attempted as best I could to perfect my game. Eventually, she said something about having plans to marry Fez. A part of me hurt. It hurt inside, but I was a lot better at dealing with it now. I congratulated her as a friend, and although I still wasn't over her, I decided to let it drop and just be friends going forward. Then a graft completed. Around the winter of 2015, I started speaking more regularly again to Methuselah. Day and night throughout, I would send her videos now and then of me casually doing things to include her. The taboo over talking about Fez waned, and it seemed she was getting a bit disillusioned with him. I didn't have any crazy expectations, but I acted like the friend I always had been. I was outside walking through dense layers of snow when I got a message from my phone. It read, I think I love her. I think I love you. Vote now before I have to disappear. I think I love you. I halted, almost tripped when I read it. She said she didn't want to be with Fez anymore. She just loved me and was so sorry that it took her so long to admit it. In retrospect, I could have been a little less jumpy, but I was really caught off guard. I told her I'd never gotten over her, and I still wanted to be with her. It seemed so improbable, and yet it happened. Following a stressful week during which Methuselah finally broke things off with Fez once for all, we officially got back together and even put it on Facebook around Valentine's. Ironically so mushy, I know. But, things have been great. Fuck you, chat. Things have been great. We are still together. It's been 6 months since she's since visited where we met for the first time face to face. The past couple of years really hardened me and made me realize just how unprepared I was to handle a girlfriend. Back then, yes, ladies and gents, when she got here, well, the commission was complete. Quest completed. My guildies and I now jokingly refer to her as Tracer, a more updated version of the Harry Potter jokes, and she takes it with stride. Speaking of which, if any guildies watch this, they'll know instantly who wrote this. Thanks for reading my story, Preacher. I hope it was your liking. It's all true, all of it, and Methuselah's going to wind up seeing this on your show. To be honest, Fez Mike too. He used to watch you. Savage, right? Oh, shit. Right at the end. Dropping bombs. Wow. Dropping fucking bombs right at the end. Good God. Well done, good story. I have to go pick up my son. Thank you. I saw you guys sending donations and stuff during the stream. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, guys. I will see you soon. Bye. I have to go pick up my son.